Okay, hello all. So today we will discuss about the question paper problem which is asked in for the 14 marks in the year 2019 and 2018. We will discuss today. Okay. So here there is a summarized balance sheet of Aditya Traders Limited for the year ended 31st March 2017 is given below. So these are the values which are given in the lakhs. Okay. So equity share capital, which is fully paid up 150, reserves and surplus 55. So whenever they indicate in the value of the two-digit value or the three-digit value, you can also indicate it as a same. Okay. So profit and loss account 20, provision for taxation, sundry creditors. We need this information whenever we find out what to be computed. That's all. Okay. So these are the additional information which is given. Sales is given as rupees 130. Earnings before interest and tax is given as rupees 40. And one more, there is a profit after tax which is given as rupees 130. Sorry, so PAT, profit after tax, still till now we have solved the problem. So we have not found out that earnings before interest tax and profit after tax. Okay. So meanwhile we will also find out what actually these and how do you compute these value as well. So what is the requirement that is to be found out at? Calculate the following for a company and explain the significance of each ratio. So you need to explain what exactly these importance. Okay. So they have asked you to find out the current ratio. So liquidity ratio. So current ratio, liquidity ratio, profitability ratio, debtors turnover ratio we have computed. We have also found out it with the stock turnover ratio, average collection period. The new concept which was arised here is return on equity. Okay, we will also learn how to compute this return on equity. So obviously whenever it is a equity, it considers only the equity share capital. Okay, so whatever the earnings that is available to the shareholders, it is going to include it. Okay, so here in the case of current ratio, so what is the information we require? Current assets will be computed with the compared with the current liability. So find out what actually these current assets they have given directly here, 35, 40, 25. So it will be 100. Okay, 35, 40 and 25 is given already, so compute as it is. However, you got it as a current assets. And now in the current liability, this is the question which is asked for the year 2019 for 14 marks. Okay, so which is the current liability is given. So see the current liability, there is 50 sundry creditors and provision for taxation is 10. So 50 plus 10 should be taken into consideration here. Okay, so current ratio is 100 divided by 60, so you get to 1.67 times. Okay, so now we have the liquidity ratio. Okay, how to compute the liquidity ratio? Liquid assets will be considered. What actually this liquid assets is? Liquid assets is considering all the stock except the prepaid expenses and except the stock. Okay, so do not consider the stock information. Stock is 35. Do not consider that. Consider only debtors and the cash information. So considering that, you will get some value as 65. So divided by 60, you will get around 1.8 times. Okay. It can also be indicated as times, or it can also be indicated as a ratios. If you indicate it as a ratio, always remember 1.67 is to 1 will be quoted. Okay. And next one is you have to compute the profitability ratio. Okay, so remember, they don't give you what exactly these profitability ratio is. So but whenever you consider the profitability ratio, when you come across this term, these three are the major important that is to be computed. So what is that? Net profit before tax, that is net profit ratio. So net profit ratio will be considered will take into consider the net profit divided by sales into 100. Okay, so now see where is the net profit which is given. So where is the net profit in the question? Nowhere they have specified the net profit, but here there is a profit and loss account by default. Okay, this whatever the value which is given, the value which is given as a profit for the current year will be the net profit. Clear? So 20 will be the net profit. Sales is given here directly as 130, so consider it as 130. Okay, so multiplied with 100, you'll get some percentage. Fine. As you are multiplying with 100, then denote it in a percentage only. And next is profit after tax. Why do you need this? Because They have given the profit after tax. Okay, 30 is given. So that 30 will be compared with the sales. Why only on the with the sales? So whenever you go for computation of EBIT, so what are the things that you will consider? Sales will be considered, all the variable costs will be considered, all the fixed costs will be considered, later interest will be calculated, then the tax will be taken into consideration. For that reason, whatever the value that is going to remain at the last after paying the tax, so will be always computed based on keeping into mind the sales only. Clear? So consider it as sales and find out the value, whatever it may be. It may be an interest or it may be an a tax. So sales will be the base value to compute the values. So that is a hint for you people. Okay, so profit after tax is given, sales is also given, just multiply with the information. Now EBIT divided by sales into 100. So listen, this formula is only you can find out 2 to 3 formula in your textbook. Okay, so whenever there is a profitability ratio, compulsory you need to find out these, because the information goes on like this. Based on the information, sometimes you need to apply the formula as well. Clear? So here EBIT is given right here. So what is the earnings before interest and tax is given as 40. So 40 divided by sales into 100 gives you so some percentage. Okay. So now they've asked you also to compute the debtors turnover ratio. See, they've also asked you to compute the debtors turnover ratio. All the ratios will be put together and asked in a 14 marks question. But main thing is be careful while computing the profitability ratio, and be careful while computing the debtors turnover ratio and average collection period, average payment period, creditors turnover ratio, as well as certain return on equity or debt equity ratio given. Okay, these five is a major important where lot of students make mistakes there. Okay, so what is debtors turnover ratio? So it includes, I told you before itself, debtors includes only this credit sales, so which we have already discussed. Look at this very carefully. Nowhere the credit sales is given here. Okay, and we don't have any information for the cash sales also. See, nowhere they have mentioned. Whenever they don't mention it as credit sales or the credit sales or a cash sales, whatever the information is given as a sales becomes the credit sales only. So 130 average debtors. So they have given 40 as a debtors. So take that into consideration, average debtors. Clear? So 3.25 times will be your debtors turnover ratio. The stock turnover ratio. What is the formula to compute the stock turnover ratio? Cost of goods sold or sales. So whenever there is no information pertaining to cost of goods sold given, sales will be acting as one of the proof for the cost of goods sold. Okay. By default, if it is cost of goods sold is given, like if it is any direct expenses or direct incomes is given, you need to consider, you have to compute the cost of goods sold. Nothing value is given, so just mention it as the sales. Okay, so it will be divided with the average stock. 130 divided with 35, 3.71 times. Average collection period. So remember, whenever there is a debtors turnover ratio, they will compulsory ask you to find out the average collection period. Whenever there is a credit turnover ratio, you need to compute the average payment period. Okay. So here average collection period includes the days divided by debtors turnover ratio. It is also called as debtors velocity sometimes. Okay. So 365 divided by 3.25 times, you will get the days, number of days, because this is the days information that you are recording. Okay. So 112 days is the average collection period which is given for the customers. Okay. Return on equity. So return on equity is a major importance. Till now we have not computed this one. So what is actually return on equity? So return on equity is nothing but whatever the earnings that will be available for the equity shareholders. Okay. So sometimes this is also called as the profit after tax. So after paying the taxes itself, a certain amount will be remained for the equity shareholders. So that is nothing but the return on equity. Okay, that will be divided with average stock multiplied with 100. So earnings available for equity shareholder is given, average stock also given. So 150 multiplied with 100 will give you 20%. Clear? So make sure that you are completely thorough with the formulas, then proceed with this question. Okay, until unless you are not thorough with the problem, it is easy, but you need to practice these formulas as well. Okay, so we will also discuss one more question relating to 14 March 2018. Okay. Okay. Here, following is the balance sheet of AB Limited as on 31st March 2018 is given. There is liabilities, rupees, assets, and the rupees given. There is equity share capital is given as 5 lakhs. 8% preference share capital is given as 4 lakhs. Reserves and surplus is given as 4 lakhs. 9% debenture 6 lakh. Be careful while computing what formula and what is the thing that you need to apply for a particular formula. Current liability is given as 4 lakhs. Clear? The land and building, plant and machinery, closing stock, debtors, bank, prepaid expenses is given. So this is a total assets and the total liabilities which is given. There is an additional information. Sales during the year rupees 8 lakh. So sales information is given for us. They have also given the cost of goods sold as 6 lakh. See, whenever there is a sales and the cost of goods sold, it is very easy to find out the profit, right? So sales minus cost of goods sold gives you the profit. Clear? So now administrative expenses, commission and discount on rupees 12,000, loss on sale of machinery rupees 34,000, profit on sale of building is rupees 54,000. Okay, so here you are required to calculate the current ratio, liquid ratio, stock turnover ratio, gross profit ratio, operating cost ratio, net profit ratio, debt equity ratio, solvency ratio, proprietary ratio. Okay, so proprietary ratio and solvency ratio will be always having a connection between these two. Okay, solvency is nothing but how well he is maintaining the company, whether he may be able to pay off the debts properly will be analyzed only with the help of the proprietor's fund. So if the fund is more, then you can analyze that the firm is having a solvent in nature. Okay, that they can run for a very long period. So they have asked you to compute the current ratio. So what is the current ratio formula? Current assets divided by current liability. So consider all the current assets here. So what are the current assets here? So current assets here is closing stock, debtors, bank, prepaid expenses. So consider all the things and find out the value. So current liability is 4 lakh. You get 1.5, or it can also be written as 1.5 times, or you can also write it as is to 1 because it is an ideal ratio. Clear? And liquid ratio. So what is liquid assets? So liquid assets includes all the current assets except prepaid expenses except the stock. So it is 2 lakhs plus 90,000. Do not consider 10,000. So which will be 2,90,000 divided by 4 lakhs. So it will give you so much value. Clear? Then stock turnover ratio. Stock turnover ratio considers the cost of goods sold divided by average stock. So cost of goods sold is 6 lakh, which is given in the adjustment. 6 lakh is given in the adjustment. Along with that, the average stock is given here. That is closing stock. Whenever there is no absence of information and no further computation information is given, the value, whichever the value itself given becomes the value. Okay. Nowhere hint is given to find out the stock. By default, this closing stock itself becomes the average stock. Okay. So 3 lakhs. So always stock turnover ratio will be indicated in the number of times. So it is 2 times. Clear? And now, so gross profit ratio. So what is the gross profit ratio formula? It takes the gross profit into consideration with the sales into 100. So gross profit is 2 lakh. So how do you get this? How do you got this 2 lakh? Sales minus cost of goods sold. Sales is given in the adjustment, and also the cost of goods sold is given in the adjustment. 8 lakhs minus 6 lakhs. So which is 2 lakhs divided by sales. So sales is given in the adjustment. So whichever the profit or the percentage you get, that is the gross profit ratio. Clear? As per the order, you have to compute it. So it will be very easy for you to further compute the values. And next is the operating cost ratio. Be very careful while computing the operating cost ratio. Okay. So, and also find out net profit ratio first. So what is net profit ratio? It includes net profit divided by sales into 100. So what is net profit now? See, gross profit is very clear. So sales minus cost of goods sold, if you make, you'll get directly the gross profit. But net profit should be including inclusions of all the incomes and deducting with the expenses. Clear? So gross profit plus discount earned, which is a discount received, plus if there is any profit received in that is profit on sale of building, will be deducted with the loss on sale of machinery. See, there is a commission and discount earned. Why we have not taken the administrative expenses or selling expenses or any expenses which is incurred will not appear in the case of net profit ratio. Clear? So here in this case, where is this? Okay, 2 lakhs plus 12 lakh, 12,000 plus 54,000 minus 54,000 minus 34,000. Okay. So 2 lakhs plus 12 plus 54 minus 34 divided by 8 lakhs gives you 29 percentage for the net profit ratio. So net profit includes the gross profit along with certain incomes as well as deducting with the expenses. Clear? And now there is also operating cost ratio. Remember, whenever there is an operating cost ratio is given, so what is actually operating, which is going to incur on a regular basis. So discount will not be provided regularly, right? Profit will not be incurred regularly. So all why the profit will not be occurred regularly? You will not be selling the building, or you will not be selling the furniture regularly or buildings regularly. So you may have incurred the loss, or you might have incurred the profit whenever it is made. That's all. So administrative expenses is a regular expense, so which is occurrence in the nature. So which will be reoccurring. Always it will be going to happen in the business. So administrative expenses consider it into a consideration for operating costs. Now also remember, any administrative expenses or the office expenses or the selling expenses, or it may be a factory expenses, that all expenses comes in the operating cost ratio. Clear? So into 100 divided with the 8 lakhs, so we'll give you 90%. Okay. So next is debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio considers, okay, so operating cost I told you, right? Now next we'll move on with the find out in the debt equity ratio. Even this we have computed in the, I am bit fast only because we have already computed this in the previous almost 10 to 12 questions with the same formulas. So I don't want to drag the same again. Okay. So debt equity ratio considers the debt along with the funds. Okay. So what actually these long-term funds? Long-term equity. Okay. So long-term debt divided by long-term equity. So 6 lakh divided by, so long-term fund includes all the funds which is for a long term. Clear? So these are the value which is for a long term. So where is that? So it is a 4 lakhs current lakh. So long term is 5 lakh is taken into consideration. 4 lakhs reserves and surplus as well as 9% debentures is considered into taken into consideration. Okay. So here you have to consider all the things. So value you get is 0.32. Clear? Here long term includes the equity plus preference shares capital plus debentures plus reserves and surplus. Whenever they have given the debentures, direct to the debentures, add that value and take into consideration to find out the long term funds. Okay. So now is the proprietary ratio. So proprietary ratio goes on with the formula shareholders funds divided by total assets. So assets which are realizable. So which is a total assets. It is very easy. The total will be taken into consideration. So that is 23 lakhs. Now shareholders fund. So what does the proprietors fund includes or the shareholders fund includes all the capital along with the reserves and surpluses. So there is a equity share capital, there is a preference share capital, there is a debentures as well as the reserves and surplus in the question. So you need to consider all those things for the shareholders fund. So which gives it as a 0.57. Okay. Now there is a solvency ratio. So solvency ratio you can directly compute by minusing with considering it as 1. So proprietary ratio is 1 minus proprietary ratio, so which goes on like 0.43 is the solvency ratio. So always, in order to analyze these two, the solvency ratio should be less whenever it is compared to the proprietary ratio. Okay. So these are the two questions which is asked for the 14 marks for the year 2019 and 2018. Very most important. So go through this very carefully, and we will also further move on with the 2017 as well as 2016 question paper problem. Then we will shift on to some other questions relating to the same. Clear? Thank you.